on yet. Good morning, everybody. I'm excited to be joining you from my house where it is freezing cold. We've had about 6 inches of snow, and I know I've seen a lot of you worried about what that means for next year or next week when you come into town. Never fear, we like to range, 40 degrees in one day. Yesterday morning it was 70 degrees, and I think it'll be nice and warm for you when you come into town. So welcome to our conversation on how to further monetize your blog while working with an MLM. I'm excited to have 2 guests with us today. I have Rachel Hersher from Today's Mama, and I have Holly Homer from Kids Activities Blog, and a plethora of ventures, I feel like. Holly?
Yeah.
So I want to tell you guys a little bit about how I know these ladies, and then I'm going to let them introduce themselves a little bit more as well. I actually met Holly through Rachel, attending some of Rachel's event. Rachel spearheaded Evo, which was the first blogger conference I ever went to, and it was fabulous. And I think the funny thing about it is, for that event, I made a little, because in our niche we like to do this, I made a little handout to go with my business cards, and it was a cute little stamped bag. And in it, I had made handmade chopsticks and lotion that I had flavored with essential oils. Now, this was before the explosion of multi-level marketing companies with essential oils. And it was the first post I ever posted on my blog that went viral. And I was thrilled. Like, this was years ago. So, I was getting a couple thousand page views a day, and I was like, this is the coolest thing that has ever happened to me. If only I knew then what I knew now, and I had signed up for some essential oils company, I'm sure I would be a multi-gazillionaire now. I haven't, but since I have watched a lot of bloggers really become interested in multi-level marketing and in working it into their blog, editorial content, as well as just kind of doing things outside of their blog. And recently, I did a little survey of bloggers that I knew that were working with multi-level marketing companies. It was an array, oils, bags, jewelry, vitamins. I think I talked to someone in just about with every company. And I asked them some questions. And of course, the main question I wanted to know is, how much money are you making? And I got a range of answers. I had people who said, well, I'm actually really not doing it. So I signed up and never did anything, and I don't make anything. I had people who said, oh, I'm making a couple $1,000s a month. And I had 2 people who were making over $10,000 a month, which kind of blew my mind because, to be honest with you, looking at their blogs, I never, ever, ever would have guessed that they were making that much money with an MLM. So as I was kind of talking through this, I think last October, Holly did a Google chat that I think 50 people forwarded to me, the link afterwards. And said,
That's where those views came from.
And ever since then, I've kind of been one of those people that have been watching on the sidelines, like, what's Holly doing? How's this going? And how are the bloggers that are working with her doing? And I followed up with some of them that are working with Holly, some of them that are working with other people. And kind of the average feedback I heard is, oh, I'm putting minimal effort in, and I'm getting $1,000 to $2,000 a month, which to me is still, that's a lot of money. That's a really nice trip to Hawaii for me or something like that. So I'm actually going to turn the time over first to Holly and then to Rachel to kind of introduce themselves and let you know how they got started working with multi-level marketing companies through their sites. And we're kind of just going to roll from there. So I'm going to turn the time over to you ladies.
So I'm Holly Homer, and I write Kids Activities Blog, like Tani said. And one of the things that we've really been looking at over the last year is really monetizing Kids Activities Blog in every way possible. And what I love about the way that we've been trying to do that is right now the majority of the income comes from sidebar ads and passive income, which I love passive income. Makes me happy. And so I was looking for other ways that we could kind of have that same I don't know, same way of making kind of passive income, but obviously everything on the internet is just a little bit scary sometimes. Like, like you're literally, I just feel like, Facebook could say, hey, we don't like your page today, or just so many different variables that go into a website. So I was really trying to figure out a way that I could diversify the income that wasn't dependent on Facebook or, my blog traffic and that kind of stuff. And so my really, really good friend, Rachel Holland, who is just would never talk anybody into anything, she sat down with me and said, like, I have this network marketing opportunity, like, I've been doing it, this is what I've been doing, I really think it's a good fit for your blog. And I'm like, oh, that's so scary. Like, no. And she's like, no, like, I really want you just to, and if it had been anyone but Rachel, I'd probably been like, oh, they're just selling me something. But I'm like, that's just not in, Rachel. So I said, hey, I'll try it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it on my blog for a month and not tell anyone. Like, this is like the super secret, like, undercover testing. And so I put it on the blog, and we'll talk more about this in a few minutes, but the first thing was because I was like, I just don't know that, like, we talk about that product much, but I went to my blog and I searched it, and we had 12 posts already on the blog that talked about things that I could easily put that product into, and I was like, well, I could just retrofit those, and then I'll write a new post or two, and then we'll just see how that goes. And so that's what I did, and the first 2 weeks, I just got signups. Like, my readers resonated with what we were doing, to the point where other people started, like, messaging me, so what you doing over there? Like, a super secret test. You have no, like, go away. But anyway, it really, really went well, and it showed me that, it showed me two things. That, number one, that our readers are really interested in what we're interested in, and because I was fascinated by this and, like, investigating it further, like, my readers really resonated with it. And the second part is, we as bloggers have been selling things, other people's things, for as long as we've been blogging, but we just didn't realize it. And we have all the skill set that we need, and why not sell something for ourselves? I'm just putting it out there. So anyway, that was back in October. So I really started selling in November. And it's been amazing. Like, just not only being able to help other bloggers, like, kind of get on their feet in this, which is something we'll also talk about, how amazing kind of the structure is for bloggers for support, but also then my readers. And then what I love more than anything is some of those readers that signed up in the first few months are now some of my bigger business builders in my organization, because they, like, caught the fire, and we were able to teach our readers to then go out and just share, basically, is what it is. It's really not even selling.
Rachel, do you want to weigh in on your...
Sure. Yes, I'll hop in. So I'm Rachel Hersher. I'm with todaysmama.com. It's weird to say how long we've been around. It's been, it will be 11 years this month. So we started as a publishing company doing books. We evolved with social media and centered everything online. We've run events like Evo and Click or Treat. We have an ad network. So being around for that long, you really do have to move and evolve with what's going on. And so what led me into, the world of MLM or network marketing? Well, first, I live in Utah. So any readers out there, raise your hands if you're in Utah, because we are network marketing heartland. We are not only the social media capital of the world, but we are the, like, let's go sell your neighbor some stuff capital of the world. And so, of course, I'm bumping into, these business. What'd you say? You'll say amen to that?
Tell people that. Shh.
Good things are here. Snap's here. Everything's here. So we've been able to, because of who we know and who we've been able to kind of strike some deals with, we've been able to work some things out with network marketing companies where we're signed up directly with them, so directly under the company. So in MLM language, that's top line. And we've seen an opportunity to go and simplify some things with bloggers and work directly with these companies to say, hey, let's do this a little different. MLMs are notoriously bad at digital marketing. We are all fantastically great at digital marketing. And so we have a really big opportunity to find products that are the right fit for us and for our audiences, and to go out and do it right, but not just get paid a one-time commission on it, but be paid on the life of the customer and build, like Holly said, a passive income, you know, from the stuff that we are promoting online. And so if you change some of the words, if you change MLM to affiliate, you know, if you look at your Amazon account, it's just another MLM, or, you know, you're just making a 4 to 8% cut. Well, why not make a 20 to 30% cut on the products you're selling, in addition to bonuses and the life of the customer, instead of a fly-by 4% commission on a plastic Lego mold? So, you know, we're on top of the fact that, you know, by virtue of where we are and some of the relationships we've seen a really big opportunity. But also, we also have taken note of other bloggers who have done this and done it well and are generating, you know, between $200,000 and $800,000 a year. So if you can do it right, you know, it can not only be this nice $500,000, $1,500 pool of extra money that's coming into your blog, but if you really, you know, get some traction on it, this can be a game changer, you know. And I think for bloggers, it can free a lot of bloggers up to actually, if they choose the right product, to promote a product that they are really in line with, but also to free themselves up from the hustle of the next sponsored post and decreasing CPMs, and allow you to really blog about what you're passionate about and spend more time actually on the content that you care about the most. So I really do think that network marketing is the next wave of online monetization. You know, and I'm really excited to see how this plays out over the next couple of years, because I think we're going to hear more and more stories, game-changing stories of what people are able to do with it. So that's my 2 cents.
Super. So I know we had a ton of questions in our group just to lead into this, and I'm just going to touch on it, but I think we'll just let the kind of conversations go from there. But I think what I'll do, instead of interrupting you guys with questions, is I'm going to share some of the questions that we had, and you guys can just, because I know nothing, you guys can just talk about it amongst yourselves. But some of the things that were real big issues that people wanted to know are, do you approach all of your personal acquaintances? Do you do everything online? Do you feel like you have to have parties, like at-home parties, to be successful with this business, and invite, I don't know, ladies over to your house to like try on Tupperware and who knows what else? How long does it take to recover your investment and or make a profit? And if I join, what are the chances that I'll lose money? I think we have some other questions, but why don't you guys kind of get started on that? And I'll watch for additional questions and just pop in if there's anything I see that maybe we're skipping.
All right, which one of those do we want to do first?
I want to address the party one, because this was key to me, because I'm not a party girl. I'm just not a party girl. So one of the first things I asked was, do I have to have a home party? And no. In fact, I've been in for 6 months now. I've not had one home party. Now, what has happened? And so I didn't even let like people in like what I consider my real life, which is, I understand, my offline life, but I don't bring my business home, so I just hadn't even touched out. I haven't approached that group yet. I think down the road I probably will, just because I'm in love with what I do. But so the funny thing is that some of them that followed my blog or had heard through the grapevine, they called me and was like, hey, are you doing this? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, tell me about it. And every single person that did that is now in my downline. So the funny thing is even though like I was so resistant to like, you know, the friend and family thing, quite honestly, down the road, I probably will let the cat out of the bag. And the funny thing is when I ranked up recently to a really nice rank that was posted on my Facebook page, and so that's how a lot of my friends and family first saw that I was doing this, and I got several people contacting me and signing up under me from that. So what I would do, like with those situations, and I've done this several times, is like when somebody asks me that I know offline, I'll just meet them for coffee, or they can come over to my house so that they can kind of experience what I'm doing. And it's like so low pressure because like I really feel like my business is online, and I do most of my, all my signups really online. So like that's just a bonus for me. It's just a fun little thing that, if they sign up, great. So it's kind of been fun.
And I probably, see, this is nice. You got both of us. So I'll give you the flip side of that. When I was sitting down meeting with one of the first MLMs that we were going to work with, one of the things they said to me, understanding what plans strategically I had in store for what we were going to do, they said, put the people that you love the most right in front of you. Because if you do intend to really grow, and if you intend to spend some time there, and if you are really going to push it to your audience, if you do start out by putting some friends and family that you love the most right in front of you, you have an opportunity to really put them in an interesting spot, a financially interesting place. And so that's something to think about. And, most MLMs, you can move people around for 30 days. I think that's the rule for most. There's a couple we can do a little more with than that. So it would be, if you intend to do something big, you can, in a very low pressure way, toss it out to your family and say, hey, here's what I'm doing. I want to let you know now that you can do it if you want. If not, no big deal. Here's what I intend to do with it. Great. Peace out. I had a lot of people around me say, oh, you know what? Actually, I really love that product. This feels like a really low pressure gamble to me. Throw me in a spot. And so I did put some friends and family there. I am very anti-party. I've never hosted one, and I've told people within our organizations, like, please never do it. Because I think the intention is, in this, is that we take something that has lived on house parties and lived on talking to your neighbor or someone in your church group or whatever it is, and move that entirely online. We have social networks built. This is what you've spent your time doing, is growing and building a social network. That's where this should be promoted, just like any other sponsor you would work with. So we really haven't encouraged people to reach out to friends and family. But if you do find the right product, I think you'll naturally find yourself doing that same thing anyway if you find something that really works for you.
Yeah, and I want to kind of address that, because I think when we say we're doing it entirely online, it makes like old school network marketing geniuses like freak out, because it's so counterintuitive to what they've been doing with that, like reach out, grab people, bring them in, tell them what they're doing in person. And what I think is missing in that scenario is that these new generations coming up, that's not how they interact with each other anyway. So they're very, very comfortable as a reader of my blog, following what I do, and in respect, I have a relationship with them that is very similar to what they might have had with their neighbor, 10 years ago. And so, I think it scares people to say, oh, we're selling online, but quite honestly, it is relationship based, just like it is in the traditional sales.
Yeah, I love it.
So what was another question?
Yeah, what's next?
We're very distractible.
So I think the next question was how long before I recover my initial investment? Maybe you can even talk about what an initial investment looks like. And once I've recovered that initial investment, how long before I start making a profit?
Yeah, do you want to start with that, Rachel, and then I'll kind of talk about the experience of the bloggers in my downline?
Yeah, perfect. So kind of standard to most MLMs or network marketing companies is that you're going to be on the hook for $120 in auto ship, which means you're signing up and saying, I'm going to spend $120 a month and I'm going to receive that in product every month. That's what keeps you qualified to receive commissions. There are a handful of MLMs out there that require less. You know, we work with one that is just $60 a month. It's required. Most sign-up fees are going to range anywhere. That one that's $60, their sign-up fee is $35. But your initial investment as well is going to be around $200 for your starter kit. I mean, Holly, would you agree with kind of those ranges?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think you kind of go in thinking 120 a month, and you might be surprised, or you know, I don't think you're going to be horrified if you're thinking 120 a month.
Yeah, I think you're kind of braced for what that reality is. And it's important to use the stuff you get, right? So don't just throw your boxes in the closet. Use it. Like,
you're a blogger. You need to photograph it.
Set it up. I made an amazing batch of muffins last night that my daughter was like, it's not time for one of your experiments. And I was like, I got to use these ingredients.
I love it. The chemical experiments.
No, she's like, I can't deal with it. What'd she say? Like the chemical
reaction.
Yeah, the chemical reactions that you create. I'm obviously not like a fantastic food blogger. No, but I mean, so plan on that from an investment perspective, but also plan on loving the product you buy, right? I mean, that's it. I literally do share it with friends and family. I order extras because there's people that I want to give stuff to. So there's that piece. In terms of earnings, you know, well, actually, I'm going to let you speak to earnings. What else did you want me to answer before I throw it to you? I'm highly distractible.
I think you got it. We'll throw it back. All
right. All right. You run with what you had in mind.
Yeah. So like there is an initial investment, and then there is a monthly charge, and I really want people who are going to think about this to look at that as rent or something like that, because any business that you go into, especially offline, you would have like an obscene amount of expenses before you even get to any sort of making money. And that's, I really have thought about that in the blogging respect for a really long time now, and it's one of the ways I've helped my blog grow, is that if I was starting a coffee shop, like I would have an overhead of probably between $200,000 and $250,000 before I even sell a cup of coffee. And there is no less, in fact, there's a lot more potential for earning online or in a network marketing than that coffee shop, because you're location based and you're selling coffee and there's Starbucks down the street. So like that's one of the things I want people to think about when they're thinking about these things, is there is an investment, but because there's an investment, there's an ability to have a bigger payout down the road. And in blogging, a lot of times that's a work, like a sweat equity investment. So anyway, what I would recommend is if you're actually going, choose one that you really want to work and that you really want to promote on your blog and it's a good fit. And if that's the case, then oftentimes you will, I want you to think about like really investing in it for 3 months before you have any expectations of income out. And what I would hope for you by the end of that 3 months is not only would you be covering the cost of your product, in fact, that usually happens in month 2 or so, depending on how quickly you grow. But by that 3rd month, I'd be hoping you'd be covering that $120-ish investment every single month with your sales and your downline. And then after that, it's gravy. And for me, I actually started making money in that 2nd month, and it just was the way, just the rapid growth that I was able to do through the blog. So, and I've seen that with other bloggers too, is some hit that like break-even point where they're making money a little easier, but 3 months is a really good kind of mindset that, hey, in 3 months, if if I'm not making money at this in 3 months, or I'm not covering my costs, or I'm not feeling like I'm making any progress, I think that's when we need to sit down and kind of evaluate like what's going on, because I think you really we can grow.
Well, and I might toss out too, you may want to give, it depends on what your game plan is going in. You may want to give yourself 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
If you're going to take the bull by the horns in those first 3 months, do that. If you're going to be slow ramping up, know that your little growth rate is going to be more like a 6 to 9 month. But if you jump in and you do the things that your team is kind of supporting you in doing, I think the 3 months is good. But I think some people wait a little too long to really activate.
Yeah, I think so too. And the other thing that, one of the things that I really thought about was looking at, for me, I really wanted to, I look at the first 6 months as an investment because like I'm going big time in this, like, you know, like I'm going to the top. And that's my plan. So like when I look at
that's your plan with everything, I feel like. I don't think
go big, go home. Yeah. So like I want the royal crown, you know, whatever that be.
Magical cruise.
The magical cruise, whatever, like, I don't know. I'm sure there's like a utopia somewhere I'll get to live someday. So
we'll all live together.
Yeah, we'll all live together on the beach. So but anyway, so like I really look at it like, hey, if I could break even for the first 6 months, that's would be awesome, because I would give that to like, we looked into franchising, we looked at other things, like in those type of things, if you can break even in 18 months, you like are feeling really awesome. So I was like, let's give us 6 months where I will invest additional resources. And so I hired someone to help me, which was really helpful and that kind of stuff. So like, yes, I did make a profit on month 2, but like a lot of that money I've been pumping back in to support my own structure and then my team structure and that type of thing, so that this, because I'm not talking about like getting one check from Amazon this month. I am talking about, creating an income that 2 years from now is just continuing to build. And so that's what the beauty of all this is I love, even though Rachel and I are both short attention span girls, like we love the long game. So
I think that's great. I think that you guys are amazing. I think maybe someone like me, maybe I don't want the pink Cadillac or the house on the beach. Sometimes, rarely, but occasionally, I just like to be average. So I'm wondering, I'm not going to ask you guys, like, how much are you making today? But I'm wondering if you can tell our audience, maybe, I kind of disclosed what people had told me, but what do you see, like, from the people that either are in your, and I'm going to use an MLM term here, like upline or your downline, or just people that you're working with, that you're networking with, like, what's the average kind of income that you see people seeing from working with an MLM company?
So the good news is like, you do not have to drive the pink Cadillac. You know what I mean?
Nor do you want to.
Like, yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one for me, but that would be horrifying. But the thing is I sound like network marketing, like poster child when I say this, but there's really like a level for whatever you want, because especially I see this with my readers, like there's some readers that are just thrilled to get their product cost covered by signing up a few of their friends and family. And I mean, think of the freedom of that. This is something that they love. These are products that they would use, and all of a sudden they're able to get that covered because they signed up a few people, and maybe even, make $50, $100, maybe $200 a month on top of that. Or what usually happens is that when that happens, they're just buying more. And I am guilty of that. I really only need to spend $100, $120, and my bill is a little higher than that because I love it so much, but or a lot higher. But but then there's like those people that are just, and I think about this as like, a few years ago when I was in the Air Force, so like that, like if you're an Air Force spouse, like your main entertainment in the evening is going to other Air Force spouses' houses and sitting down and buying about $25 to $30 worth of product. And we just would like keep switching, like, oh, okay, I pay you $40 today, and I'll pay you $40 tomorrow, and then I'll host a party and get that money back. That's really what it was about. That, but that kind of fulfilled that need that we had at that point to bring in an extra $200, $300, $400 a month for our family, which was amazing. And, like what family, couldn't use that? whether you use it to, to support the kids' sports that month, or be able to do something a little special, or save up for a vacation. Like, that's just amazing, and that's something that can be done very, very part-time. And then I think we look into more the bloggers, where they're spending a little bit of time on it. They're investing in putting it in their blog and putting it out on their social media channels in ways that they know work, so that they have that skill set. And so when they get started, in the 3-4 months, we're looking at $500, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 in that range without killing yourself off. And then when you get to certain ranks, and the way the structure is oftentimes when you get to certain ranks, you're going to get to know other people that are cross-line from you. And that's when you kind of learn more about what's happening. And so you see at certain ranks that a lot of times, at the rank kind of pool that I'm in right now, a lot of the distributors that have been doing this for a while, their husbands are quitting their jobs to join in the organization that they have going. And how freeing is that for a family, that all of a sudden mom and dad are both home, and that's something that hopefully will happen in my house someday, so that that we can really take care of our kids in a way that is really, really fun for us, and not just all work and no play. So and then there's people in my upline that make a lot of money, more money than I can even imagine. So that's where I'm headed, people. And I'll tell you what it looks like.
Wag into that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and when you look at a network marketing company, you ask for a copy of the comp plan, because that's going to break down, the different levels, how much you can expect to make, because you not only get paid on how many people are under you in those purchases, you also make more money on the bonuses that they have built. So that's where ours and the match bonuses and things like that happen. But when you're looking, that's what you want to make sure you look at, is a copy of their. You can also ask, hey, I want to see the breakdown of the average earnings per level or rank, so that it will tell you, within their own organization, their full disclosure, this is how much they're making.
Mm-hmm.
And you can ask those questions. You can ask how many people are signed up, how many people are at this level. Those are definitely questions that you want to ask whatever organization you're signing up with.
Well, in fact, they're legally required to disclose those, and so they all have that information on their websites as well. So if you're thinking about one, you could Google it and then find out what the average is. And I've looked at the one for my company, and it's dead on. Obviously it's an average, so you're going to have people that are below that, but obviously you have to have the same number of people above it to get that going. So I think it's really helpful, and it also kind of gives you an idea, especially if you've been in it for a month or two and you can kind of see your pace, what you can actually plan it out a little bit more than you can oftentimes in blogging, which things are very random, whether you get a viral post or something like that. Whereas, there's kind of a formula to a certain extent that, hey, if I get this many signups, it kind of results in this and this and this. And so, my husband charts. We're geeky here. We chart our new members and the income and stuff like that, and it's pretty linear to a point where I know by the end of this month I kind of know what to expect as a OGV, organizational group volume. There's a little lingo in there for you. That's free.
That was a bonus.
That was a bonus.
What have we got next, Tawny?
Well, I think one of the things, I'm going to tell you guys about a little conversation in my house, and I am interested to know if you've had similar conversations in your house and kind of how they went. So it is going to turn into a question. So about a month ago, I sat Derek down and I said, so Derek, all these bloggers are making money with multi-level marketing. I said, I can't get online or on Pinterest or on Facebook without seeing some sort of really cool lip balm or lotion or body scrub or green smoothie or, you name it. I'm seeing it. And, initially I didn't assume that they were all related to network marketing. I've come to learn that they are. So I was telling him a little bit about it, and I was like, network marketing companies, ick. That was pretty much how the conversation went, and I was like, but I'm really interested, and I think I'm going to reach out to some people, and I'm going to try to find out some more information because I feel like there's something there. And I was like, how do you feel about that? And he's like, please don't tell my family. And I was like, okay. I won't tell your family. I actually am not going to tell my family. But let's look into this. Let's see what it's like, and how do you feel about that? And he was really, actually, he's a businessman, and he does investments. And what he was saying is he's like, well, it's really not that different from the business and investment world because we have a commission structure. Our commission structure is based on how much people invest, how those investments do over time. And, you know, he has people that work for him, and he makes commission off their commission. So while it's a vastly different, highly regulated industry, it's really not that different. But the very next thing he said to me is, you barely have time to like go to the grocery store and buy milk. So how are you going to do one more thing? And so that's the question I have for you guys today and that's the question I want to know. If I'm going to venture into something like this, what's the time commitment? Blogging, we like to pretend like it's super easy and it's just, you know, hopping onto Facebook a few times a day. But a truly successful blogger is putting a significant amount of time in, you know, something like a part-time or full-time job. So if you're making part-time or full-time money, how much time are you putting in?
So if you're cool, Holly, I'll jump on that one. First, let me say, when I told my husband, I came home and said, hey, babe, I got a new business venture. It's MLM. You know, I mean, it took us a good month to feel cool about like the words I was using. But we're definitely cool with it now. The other piece is, in taking this on, honestly, think about how many sponsored posts you do. Think about what clients you bring on. Think how you treat your affiliate programs. This is just one more of those things. So you would treat this network marketing, you know, opportunity that you commit to just like that. You know, what sponsored posts am I going to put up? You know, I got to make sure to cross-promote it on Facebook, and you kind of just build it into your editorial schedule. And again, you can condense or grow that depending on how aggressive you're being at the time, but you really need to look at that company as a sponsor. And how are you going to knock that campaign out of the park for that sponsor, which luckily the sponsor at the end of the day turns out to be you. You know, and so that's me, right? The check's to me. So that's really how you look at it. And if you sign up with the right group, a lot of the logistical issues that you might be afraid of, like you know, do I have to follow up on who has this and my downline? You know, you're going to find the support you need so that a lot of those things are taken off your plate. So I think that's an important thing to look for, is a group that's going to give you a little bit of support too. So Holly, jump in on that.
Yeah, I completely agree. And like, I know, like, I was against the crazy pyramid scheme. Like that was, you know, the words that were in the back of my head anytime I thought about any of this. And then I think it's the guy that wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, is that who it is? But he talked about how pretty much every business is a crazy pyramid scheme where, you know, like the people at the top hire people or get commissions from the people below them. And this is just one that has a really, really low price of entry. And so it's not a crazy pyramid scheme. And, well, I mean, there probably are some out there that are, but, like, you're not going to choose one of those. Like, come on. You're going to choose something that you love and that you would, and that's really the key. You want to find one that you love and that you would buy the product even if you weren't going to be in the middle of the compensation plan. So, and that's really what it's done. So in the beginning, in anything you choose, there's just going to be a little bit of overwhelming time of learning what you're doing, because it is not an affiliate network. But it is an affiliate network. Like, it's not an affiliate network because it has a few more details, and then you have customers, which means you have customer care. But on the other side of that, that means you have customers for life, which Amazon is not going to give those to you. So, like, I really feel like if you're going to invest in, you know, like you could really literally invest anything from 2 to 3 hours a day to 2 to 3 hours a week, and you're going to see some sort of response on that. And then depending on that or what your goals are, you know, like I think if you came on as a new person and, you know, you already have an established blog, you could probably figure out that first few things in an afternoon, get yourself set up, and then let it run with, you know, just kind of sponsored post type. Like we publish once a week for what we do, so that once a week, and then we promote that, but we promote that like any other post, so it's not like anything out of the box for us. And then there's obviously people who are doing a lot more, or if they're doing some of the bloggers in my downline have done a really good job, and they are party people, and so they unlike me, and there's nobody's required to do this, but they've combined like kind of offline and online, so they may do a party and then they have content about how to throw a party, and then or like, hey, this is what we made together, or, you know, that kind of thing. So there's really cool different ways, especially, I mean, it's your business. You're an independent distributor. You can do, like, within reason, whatever you feel best. And so that could be minimal, or there was kind of, I've noticed that mine kind of go like this. I'll like really hit it hard for a month and then kind of relax, and then hit it hard for a month and kind of relax. And so you'll see my compensation kind of is a little bit of a roller coaster, even though it's been a roller coaster going up. And I think that's fine, because it really will fit whatever works for you best. Is Tanya there?
Yeah, I am. Can you?
Okay, good. I can't see you. I was like, oh, did we lose her?
I wonder if you'll talk a little bit about, you know, your approach is a little different than a lot of network marketers, especially, and I think it's because of the time commitment involved. I feel like you really approach this more of an affiliate marketing relationship. And I know you touched on that just a little bit before, but I wonder if you'll just spend just a few minutes talking a little bit more about that. And, you know, you've been doing this blogging and doing online for a long time. So you've worked on affiliate relationships, and, you know, is the time commitment comparable? Is it different? Maybe you could talk about that for just a minute.
Sure. Yeah, and I wouldn't mind doing that for a minute, just based on what I've kind of put together. Because,
yeah, so why don't you start, and then I'll come
yeah, because obviously we're getting better at this. So, like, when I started, like, I was thinking of it as an affiliate network, you know, kind of, and we do a lot of affiliate sales on Kids Activities blog and our Facebook page. It's a major source of income for us. In fact, my plan is to kind of phase out sponsored posts eventually and just do the affiliate, and that's where this was really fitting in, because, you know, my plan for that was kind of along these lines. So, but once I got into it, I realized, you know, there is that customer care component and that kind of stuff, and a lot of network marketing companies, you know, are expecting that to happen in parties, the education happen, you know, traditionally, you would be sitting down with someone for an hour and a half over coffee, or you might have a party that you would educate maybe 10 people in, maybe for 2 hours about the products. And that was the component that we were missing online, because all of a sudden, even if I sold a kit and had someone join my downline, they didn't necessarily know what to do with that. And so one of the reasons I've been investing back into kind of my company is to set it up more as a plug and play for bloggers, because you know, why would we have everybody recreate this, you know, 100 times over, when we could have kind of a middle, like, organized, where you can come and say, hey, here's the information you need. Really briefly, this is what we've found work, best practices. Here's the resources that you can invest in, so that, you know, your new member has education, knows what the heck to do with this product, so that they can fall in love with that product and be a lifelong customer. So in the very beginning, I felt really scattered about that, and that's one of the things that, you know, hiring help and getting kind of a plan together, so that now when a blogger might sign up underneath me, hey, here's a checklist. This is what, this is what we suggest. Here's the resources to do that, so that they don't have to go searching all over the internet or reinvent the wheel to do what we found works. I think that's a nice segue to Rachel, because I know she's doing something crazy there.
It's always something crazy here. So as I mentioned, we've signed up directly with multiple MLM companies and negotiated kind of some different terms, or I should say access for the people in our organizations. So the way we've built the pyramid.
The crazy pyramid scheme.
How many times have we watched the Michael Scott Office episode? Just Google, like, Michael Scott pyramid scheme, and watch that after we all log off, because it's hilarious. So at the top of our organization, we have signed up a digital marketing company, so that marketing company is incentivized over everybody else who falls under our organization. That company is responsible to create digital ads that you can run, landing pages, optimized work on that with our distributors on SEO, and also work directly with the network marketing companies with their programmers to improve, checkout systems and things as they talk to our pages. So we're getting really kind of in the guts with some of these people. The level below that digital marketing company is a call center, so that as we drive online sales, that call center will handle inbound, outbound sales, basically, for those people. So there's a layer of customer support there, but also that call center is going to be working for our distributors to convert their customers into either, somebody who's on auto ship every month just as a customer, or someone who signs up as a distributor. So that follow-up we've kind of taken out of the blogger's hands. I mean, you're welcome to it if you would like, but that's what the call center is ultimately there for. And then below that, we have a layer of support from our team, so that everybody has, someone giving them content ideas, distributing stuff, helping with training, answering questions, just so we have these different levels of kind of service and management built in to take away some of the headaches that might be there for you, or actually just to improve the experience with an MLM, because as we've said probably 10 times on this call, network marketing companies are not digital marketing companies. And there are certain assets like ads and landing pages and online checkout systems and all that stuff that they're just not great at. And so that's where we also want to bridge that gap to truly make it like an affiliate program that you plug in and get paid more. So that's the approach that we've taken. And we'll probably continue to develop on that as we go.
So great, thank you guys. I think that was pretty exhaustive. And Rachel, you are crazy. I don't even think my brain doesn't even, it doesn't work that big. It doesn't.
Just remember, the pyramid is a big tent where there's room for everyone. And the things swirling at the top of the tent in the circus are there to take care of everybody in the tent.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say at the top of the pyramid there is the great brain. And I was like, you're like powerful Oz. Wow.
I mean, Santa is probably at the top of the pyramid. I don't know.
I've actually found this to be really informative and helpful. I know we have some people that are watching, and if they want to post questions in the room, I think this is the appropriate time to ask them kind of as we wrap up and close out. But the most recent comments you made brought up another question for me, and I think that a lot of people would have, and that is, does it matter who you sign up for? I mean, just listening to you guys talk, I get the sense that it does. Obviously, Holly, you mentioned that you have checklists and you know how to best work things through bloggers. And Rachel, you mentioned that with your organization, you have a layer of marketing and a layer of customer service that you're taking care of right out of the gate. So I know you're a little biased now, I guess, if I ask this, but
yes.
It doesn't matter who you sign up under. And are you going to have the same experience regardless of who you sign up under?
I'd love to start with that one if I could. Yeah, I mean, yes, there is differences, and that doesn't mean you have to sign up directly under me. That is absolutely not what I'm saying. But what I do think is, especially if you're a blogger, you want to make sure you're signing up under someone who is selling it in the way that you would, or has experience with that. And the cool thing about that is that we are able to, we have enough resources that we're able to help the readers that would sign up that would then sell in a traditional manner, as well as other bloggers, because like that wheel has been invented, whereas ours, I feel like, is still still in that invention process. But and it's really about, it's a network, so it's really about where you're going to feel and get and be the most supported. So, I would love that to be in my organization, but there's some amazing, and it may not even be in my network marketing company, because you need to find a good fit. So you just need to really find not only a fit for product, but then a place that can really support, so that you can grow your organization as fast as you can without having to remake the same mistakes that I've made or that other people have made.
Yeah, and I'll echo what she says. I think no matter where you go, you have access to the same products. You know what I mean? So that part of your experience will be consistent, and the training and support you receive from that network marketing company is consistent for everyone. But, you may sign up with a group that's more pumped up than another group, or maybe has some better strategies, or, is simply people that you maybe jive with a little more, because you might end up really connecting with them and doing more with them. So I do think you consider who you sign up with. I think Holly's brilliant. I will hitch my wagon to her start any day of the week. But like we said, you can find this stuff everywhere, and you have the same access to products as anybody does. But definitely ask those questions on, like, okay, what does your group do differently? What do you guys do to really knock it out of the park? Is there anything special you do for your downline, than anybody else? Those are probably good things to ask, in terms of strategy.
Perfect. I think that's been really helpful. I saw that Karen had a question. Karen, I think your question actually relates more to traditional working with brands and doing marketing. I think one of the, and let me just tell you guys kind of what Karen asked, so you're not all in the dark. She was just asking, she's just starting to monetize her blog, and she wanted to know, how do companies evaluate a blogger as a potential brand to align within a business relationship? And I think what we're talking about today is a little bit different than that, but the beauty of it is they're not evaluating at all. You get to choose for yourself, and you get to kind of push forward with your own direction. And I think it kind of goes back to what Holly was talking about earlier, about how ideally she'd like to phase out sponsored posts on her blog and be relying on affiliate and network marketing and a couple other things for her income. And so I think that's one of the great things about this particular business model. I think what's really interesting, and I want to give, and I maybe should have started with this, but one of the things that I do is provide blog consulting for people who, in particular, who want to kind of take their blog to the next level. They feel like they've leveled off, and then they want to take it up a notch. And I would say probably in the last 6 to 8 months, the MLM question has probably been the #1 question I've been asked, which is so interesting. And I think the funny thing is every time I'm asked about it, someone says, it kind of starts out this way. So, okay, don't think I'm crazy, but I want to ask you what you think about this. And the terrible truth is I haven't been involved in a network marketing company. I haven't been able to answer their questions. And pretty much what I say is, oh, go watch this video that Holly did online talking about how she was signing up to do MLM marketing. And here's the real irony in it. So I've kind of had those feelings of like, oh, this is kind of a secret I want to know more about, and didn't ever take the next step to get involved. But I've watched some of those people sign up. And one of the girls I called earlier this week because I was like, I want to know if you reached out and how things are going for you, because I'm doing this MLM chat and I want to be able to tell people, how long people have been doing it and what they're making. And she's like, well, I ended up signing up in November. She's like, I didn't actually post anything on my blog until January. and she's currently making $2,500 a month, which I think is a great win. So I just think it's so funny that it's kind of like the secret we all want to know a little bit more about, but we're a little bit scared of. And I truly still feel that way. I do appreciate your time, and I appreciate the time of everyone who joined us. I do think that this has kind of been such a hot topic that we kind of done some last minute, we've pulled some shenanigans, and we've got some stuff going on. And Rachel and Holly are going to be joining us at Snap to talk to some of the bloggers there about this. One of the things that I love about both Rachel and Holly is that they're actually very open with not only the whole network marketing piece, but it's just being online generally. I've said this a million times about Rachel, but I think one of the first things she said to me that probably impressed me more than anything else is that she believed that one of the parts of being involved on the internet is really actually sharing and kind of not holding back, but just kind of putting it out there and sharing and being open. And I found her to always be very open with feedback and tips. And I've actually found all of the bloggers that I think are the most successful to be the ones that typically actually share the most. So I'm grateful to have these guys coming. They're just a wealth of information, from just general monetization to this network marketing piece. So a couple of the things that we've set up for people who will be coming to Snap, these lovely ladies have agreed to host a suite Thursday morning, which is kind of our traditional sponsor time, and kind of that freebie time that you can do anything you want to. And we'll be adding this to the schedule with the room and every information and everything later. But they're going to be there to do one-on-one conversations, answer more specific questions. I don't know if you're really still feeling secretive about it. They maybe would let you ask it through the door, or I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that works, but I'm definitely there to answer questions. And then Saturday afternoon we'll be doing a roundtable. Again, a further opportunity to ask more questions in person. I am guessing that a lot of people are going to watch this video and have more specific questions, like what companies are you guys working with? How many companies are you working with? Should I sign up? What should I? So for those of you who are watching and who are interested, you're more than welcome to email me, admin@snaptheconference.com, for more information. But I will be posting a link to a forum in both our Facebook group and in our email, so that if you are interested in more information, you can sign up, and then Rachel and Holly can reach out to you to kind of set up some appointments and kind of have maybe just like a little bit more in-depth conversation, because I feel like, because this is like the secret conversation that we're now having like on air, live, and sharing with the world, there are still a lot of people that are kind of a little nervous to ask questions, and probably have some things that they'd like to see addressed. So I want to thank you guys so much for your time. I'm just going to double check one more time and make sure we don't have any other questions that have popped in before we close out. But I want to thank you guys for your time and your willingness to participate, and your willingness to pop into our conference kind of last minute. Like I said, I think this is one of the pieces of information that I feel like, I don't know why it's such a secret, because there's so much information, but it's out there. So thank you so much for joining us. And I will see you guys next week. I want you to know that we now have about 8 inches of snow outside my door.
Yeah, I'm going to go shovel now.
There was a whiteout while we were chatting that was slightly distracting to me.
Yeah.
But it's all good. Texas Holly, she's dying right now.
I know, I'm going to have to pull my winter coat out. Am I really going to have to do that?
Seriously, pull up your weather on your phone for Salt Lake City, and you'll see that tomorrow, I think it's already back to 60 degrees. It's ridiculous.
Oh, good.
Tomorrow's 50. By Sunday, it's 70 again. It's ridiculous.
Oh, good. Because, yeah, I'm wearing, I'm in my summer. I have my winter clothes put away.
Well, thanks again for joining us, you guys. I really appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week.
Awesome. We're excited. Thanks.